Hi, Simon Kids subscribers. I'm Lauren Kate, and I am the author of One True Wish. This is a story about 4 kids, Jem, Birdie, Marley, and Van, who absolutely do not believe in fairies until a fairy crash lands in their neighborhood trees. And the crazy thing about this fairy is that she doesn't believe in children. The passage I'm going to read today, Van hears a sound in the woods and follows it. Van came to an elm tree whose exposed roots jutted up around its trunk like the arms of a star. The sound was coming from the other side. They propped their elbows on the elm roots and peered over. For several moments, they couldn't get their mind around what they were seeing. A creature lay face up, twitching in a pile of leaves. It was smaller than Van, the size of a new baby, but its face was mature, fine-featured, with a long nose and pointed chin. Its face made it look like it was Van's age, 12. It wore a shiny green dress of unusual fabric and had tangled red hair splayed out in all directions. Its belly could best be described as popped. Van thought back to the comic they'd just been reading on their phone. The thing in the leaves looked a little like Phoebe LaCroix, the cheeky, eponymous villain from Birdie B's weekly comic strip, who lived on a distant star. "No way," Van whispered. They swiped off their glasses, cleaned them on their sleeve, and set them back down on their nose. The sight before them stayed the same. Now the creature twitched toward Van, turning its head and widening its golden eyes, and Van saw fear so sharp and real, it reached out and pricked them. "Are you hurt?" Van asked. In the time it took Van to climb over the roots, the creature had struggled to its feet. Facing Van, pointy chin jutting up, it smashed a crimson flower petal hat back atop its head. Only then did Van notice 2 dusty gray wings extending from its back. "You're seeing things," Van told themselves under their breath. A couple of years ago, this wouldn't have occurred to them. In Ireland, children were raised on a diet of fairy lore, and there were reasonable people, like Van's own gran, who actually believed. When their parents separated, Van's first instinct had been to go to the fairy hill near their aunts and make offerings, begging the fairies to put their parents back together again. By the time the divorce was final, things were different. Van was different. They returned to the hill and destroyed the offerings. They'd sworn off fairies. So this thing could not be a fairy because Van did not believe in fairies. They closed their eyes. Count to 3. When you open your eyes, it'll be gone. But when Van opened their eyes, not only had the not fairy not disappeared, it did the last thing Van expected. It let out an enormous burp. The sound vibrated, shaking the trees. The creature's cheeks turned pink. It placed a delicate hand over its mouth. "Whoa," Van said, fighting back an urge to laugh. It pointed with a trembling arm. "What are you?" "Me?" Van blinked. They touched their chest. I'm a human." "As in human child?" the creature asked, crossing its arms. "Yeah, I guess, technically," Van said. They'd finally gotten their dad to stop calling them young woman. But human child didn't exactly feel right either. "Ha!" The creature stamped its foot. "Children don't exist." "What are you?" Van asked. The creature placed a hand over its chest. "I am Phoebe, fairy of the North Star." No, you're not." Van rubbed their eyes. "That's impossible. You're made up." The creature hooted with laughter. "You don't believe me? That's rich." "Okay," Van said. "Prove you're a fairy." "Prove you're a child," the creature shot back. "How would I prove I'm a child?" Van said. It was the craziest thing they'd ever heard. The creature that called herself Phoebe tilted her head and smirked. "Make a wish." "Okay, I did it," Van said. "I made a wish. Now what?" "Where is it?" "Where's your wish?" She paced the elm trees, agitated. "I don't see it anywhere." "How would you see a wish?" Van said. "Little golden wriggly thing," Phoebe said. "You are really not convincing as a child. Next time you play at this, you should try to be a little more awesome." Awesome? Yes, awesome and all-knowing and desiring only what you truly need, for that is what makes a child. Not the ones I know, Van said, and they stared at each other until Phoebe's face twitched and she stuck out her tongue. If you don't believe I'm a child, what exactly do you think I am? Whatever you are, Phoebe said, it's your problem. I guess you're some giant breed of fairy working for the priestess and she put you up to this whole charade. Why would someone do that? To convince fine folk like me to believe. In what? In the children tale, Phoebe cried, poking a finger at Van's chin. Now tell me, what has the priestess done with all those granted wishes? Hoards them for herself, does she? I really wouldn't know, Van said. You think someone's out there stealing wishes? If this were true, it might explain a few things. The wish you claim you made seems to have conveniently disappeared, Phoebe said. What'd you wish for, anyway? I thought I wasn't supposed to tell anyone, Van said, sitting down with their back against the tree trunk, or else it won't come true. Whoever told you that? Everyone? This is hocus pocus, Phoebe said, and marched off toward the tree roots, which she began with difficulty to climb. I won't fall for it, because I know the children tale is make-believe. I'm going home, and I'm going to tell everyone about the imposters acting as children on this moon, acting boring, spreading lies. Van looked around the woods. What was happening? This creature who claimed to be a wish-granting fairy was acting like Van was the apparition. If you really can grant wishes, why didn't you help me when I needed you? The question flew from their mouth before they could stop it. Van was horrified. They clamped their lips shut and rode out the flame in their cheeks. Why would I help you? Phoebe asked. I serve children, or I did back when I was fool enough to believe in them. You clearly don't even know how to make a wish. I wished for a puppy. All right, Van said. It was the first thing that had popped into their mind. They had a paper due tomorrow, and I met a fairy in a woods was probably not going to fly as an excuse for turning it in late. What's a puppy? Phoebe asked. Van threw up their hands. See, I knew you weren't a wish fairy. If you were, you would have granted about 10 trillion wishes for puppies. Let's not get mired in specifics, Phoebe said. Everyone knows fairies see the essence of wishes over the details. This is not real, Van said. Your imagination is playing tricks on you because you're lonely. If you leave now, if you go home and write your paper, practice your flute, you can pretend this whole thing never happened. Wait a minute. Phoebe hopped onto Van's knee, and the very real weight of her webbed feet on Van's skin made Van suck in their breath. Was it a true wish? What? There's a difference between a true wish and a passing desire. A true wish can't be outgrown. A true wish grows with you. Phoebe stopped talking suddenly as if she feared she'd said too much. If you were a child, you'd know that. This struck Van more than they expected. They understood what Phoebe meant. A puppy would be fun, but there were things Van wished for more. Trouble was, those things were buried so deep within them, Van didn't know if they could put it into words. But in the space of a few seconds, Van had gone from dismissing Phoebe to wondering. What if Van humored this figment of their imagination? Where would the conversation go? How'd you end up in Texas, anyway? They asked. I'm not in Texas, Phoebe laughed. I can clearly see this is a moon designed to make me think I'm in Texas, to make me feel exiled and sorry for ruining everything. And I am sorry. I would like to return to Polaris now, to my hut. I'm very tired, and I'm very, very cold. Van wiped sweat off their brow. It was 90 degrees in the shade and not even summer yet. I'd like to go home too, but unfortunately, Texas is where we both are. No, Phoebe said, fairies don't leave the North Star system. I wouldn't have survived the journey. My wings would be in tatters. She spread her tattered wings. Are they always so gray? Van asked. My wings are not gray. They're positively luminescent. Perhaps your eyes aren't capable of registering my variegations. Then suddenly Phoebe broke off, looked over her shoulder at her wings, and let out an ear-splitting scream. Thanks for reading with me. Hope you enjoy One True Wish.